You're listening to the Connect Church podcast featuring the pastoral staff of Connect Church in Tupelo, Mississippi. This podcast delivers biblical truths, hot topic discussions, and encouragement you need on your daily journey to live like Christ.
The Human Resources Department requires that I be available.
Not sure if the invite cards are nifty, but the mustache is definitely not.
He's in charge of our children. What are we doing?
I don't.
Here are your hosts, Terry Pierce, Andrew Pierce, and Tanner Stahl.
Thank you all for being here. Let's get started.
And hello, everyone out there in Connect Church podcast land. Thank you for listening to episode number 14. Is that right? 14 on the podcast? We
Two touchdowns.
That's right. That's how many runs Ole Miss scored against Arkansas on Sunday.
Wow.
14. They scored 14 runs.
They did.
But we scored 18. What's up?
Anyways, we both need pitchers.
It's great. It must have been a pitcher's duel.
Yeah,
so.
it was. No, both starting pitchers got run in the first and second inning. Anyways, thanks for listening. Episode podcast number 14. We had an awesome time this weekend here at the church with our missions banquet and potluck and mission service, and we'll get into that here in just a little bit. You can find all of the Connect Church podcast episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, Google Play, YouTube, wherever you can go back and listen and catch up. If you're behind, we appreciate you listening. Subscribe, share with others so other people can hear this wonderful awesomeness, goodness that we give you every week, once a week here on the Connect Church podcast. Guys, how's it going?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Had breakfast today.
Yeah, how was breakfast?
It was good. Yeah, I went to Bonnie and Harold took us to Jack's.
Jack's.
So I have bad news.
Uh-oh.
I went to open my dishwasher this morning.
Oh,
I'm just kidding.
Oh, no.
Oh, dummy.
Just kidding.
Dummy. Yes. All right. Anyways, yeah, you're right, though. Harold and Bonnie invited us out for breakfast at Jack's over by the hospital. It was really good. I had the smoked sausage, egg, and cheese sandwich.
I had the ham and egg and cheese. Very good.
Woo pig, baby. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That's it. All right, so let's recap this weekend, everything that happened here at our missions events. We had an awesome missions potluck. It was our first meal or
since
potluck
COVID.
Since COVID started. I think. Is that right? I think we hadn't had anything.
Not really, not of a church-wide thing.
Yeah, not a church-wide event, and we had I'm telling you what, guys.
Oh, it's amazing.
We planned for 100 people to show up, and we only had probably 45 or 50, which was a little bit on the downside, a downer for me personally.
But the food was.
I'm telling you, everyone that came was on fire with their food game. It was incredible.
Shout out to the Go Board and you, Tanner, for organizing it. I mean, it was well done. I mean, it was just, and then Clint's message was off the hook, but it was, but the food was your Japanese curry.
It was good.
Big,
That's
big
good
fan.
stuff.
Big
Yeah.
fan.
So
Yeah.
I had a three-way tie for the ethnic food. We had Tanner brought Japanese curry. It was legit.
Amen.
It was legit. And then
Yes.
Jody and Kathy Brown made Cuban rice and beans with a
Yes.
Cuban
Oh, my
avocado
gosh.
pineapple salsa.
It's my
thing.
favorite. I'm not
Oh
gonna
my
lie.
goodness,
Yes,
that was
yes.
delicious. And then Jeannie Johns made an
What's
Indian.
your name?
Jeannie Jones. Now I'm turning into Terry. Oh, my goodness. At least I didn't call her Jeannie Meek again. But
You've become me.
I know. We only said that 100 times at the Easter egg hunt. But
Go ahead and shave your head.
Jeannie Jones made an Indian dish and stuff that was legit. And then we had a lot of people that just brought good old American food. And y'all, I mean, I love the Japanese curry. I love the Cuban rice and beans. But if you didn't eat some of Angela Tudor's mac and cheese,
Oh, yeah.
oh my gosh, slap your mama.
Well, here's my favorite. Here's my top three. So you do your little TV show game
Okay.
or whatever. But here's my top three because food's much more important. That's what we should have.
We
I'll
should-
vote in a food thing.
Oh,
so,
yes.
So here's my top three. The Cuban dish that was my favorite. My second was your Japanese curry. But third, right there with it, was good old American chicken and dumplings. And
Yes.
so,
Who brought those dumplings?
I don't know, but they were seriously.
They were very good.
They
Yes,
were. They were just yes.
I will say my favorite thing with Andrew was that salsa, that avocado pineapple
Yes.
salsa. My 4-year-old Hallie, y'all know she'll eat anything. I really think she's turning into a vegan because I'll give her a plate of meat or chicken strips or ham or something. She don't want it. All she wants is the fruit. She ate 2 bowls of that salsa by herself.
No
my
kidding.
That's all she ate that night. Yeah.
But we've always said she was your daughter.
I know,
There's
she's-
nothing vegan about you.
No, I mean you give her a stick of celery and she's happy.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. She won't eat the chicken. But anyways, so the potluck was fantastic. The food was incredible. And then Clint spoke to us afterwards. We were all stuffed.
His mission stories were just
outrageous.
Man. Yeah, it was just, man, you were ready to go to heaven, man. It was good stuff.
I know there's obviously a great and vast field for missions in multiple countries everywhere, but for some reason when you get an African missionary, their stories are the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and the thing is that Clint brings in, and for our listeners today, he was so practical because Clint's not about your intellectual knowledge of what you're doing. His stories were about how the Holy Spirit led them to take the gospel and truth into people's lives there in Africa, and just the Holy Spirit's opening up doors, and the supernatural stories of what they did and what happened in their lives that's the fantastic thing, and that can happen in our lives.
Right, definitely. It was awesome to hear his stories of how they would be in a situation. I'm not
the bread guy.
The bread guy. I'm not even going to try to tell the whole story.
No.
But how they would be in a situation, and then 25 years later,
the bread guy becomes the king.
Here it is. Yeah,
right.
This is like Joseph. Out of the Bible,
Well, I was reading this morning in Esther, and how Mordecai, was getting ready to get hanged, and all that, and so, and then all of a sudden, Queen Esther, that God had providentially put in that place over the whole, comes in and says, "Oh no, you're not doing that." And the Haman guy that hated him, and I love that verse. It's hang him high, hang him. And so that's what the verse says, and and that was exactly what Clint was telling us about, how that. The bread guy 20 years later winds up, being the king of the village where they needed to get the gospel to. I mean, how does that even happen?
Since you brought it up, and that's one of my favorite Bible stories, I always imagined after the whole Esther, tells the king that, this guy's going to try to kill our people.
Mm-hmm.
One of my favorite parts of that story is I could see it in my head. The king's all angry and he's mad. What am I going to do with Haman? What am I going to do with Haman?
Yeah.
And then some guy, it says in the scriptures, like the little henchman off the side, it's like, Haman was going to hang Mordecai on these gallows.
We've got him out there already.
Why don't you use those gallows that Haman built? Just kill him. Yeah.
They're 50 foot high. They're already there. Yeah, exactly. No, that's how that reads, though. You're dead on. You're dead on. So that is a great interpretation for a music minister. I'm impressed highly with Scripture.
Obviously, Tanner's spiritual gift was always being gracious and merciful. So.
Every time Tanner reads the judgment of God in the Bible, yes.
Smite them.
Okay, kill him.
Turn or burn.
Yeah, that's right. But anyways, all right, so then that was Saturday night. He told great stories. We had great videos. I appreciate all of our missionaries getting a video of something to me for us to use.
That was outstanding.
They did a great job. We were only missing, I think we were only missing 2, but it was not a big deal. We had plenty.
Yeah, Doug Rogers' stories was great, and then but you got to be the highlight of Belen enjoying Timmy's.
Oh gosh, I feel so bad for Tim, not because of this video, just because of the heck that I know y'all gave him afterwards.
We are so excited to share with you.
My family's the worst, man.
I like your family. Y'all are the worst ones in your family.
No, that's what I meant. I even called Timmy to apologize for Belen and Andrew laughing. So,
well, Tanner's spiritual gift is obviously mercy and grace, and ours is encouragement.
We have the most sarcastic group of all time. So.
Tim did a great job. And if you got over. If you guys got over his delivery, then what he was saying was really cool about how.
Do you want a funny story about that?
We like Chaka.
So
she did great.
Yeah. Well, Timmy tells Chaka like the day before that they're going to shoot your Tanner's video for the Connect Church, about the missions that's going on with bridge builders. So Timmy puts ladders in his barn. He's got a gigantic barn there at his house and stuff, and he's got ladders, and he literally does what Andrew does with the bulletin. He tapes it all over the ladder so he can read it. So you could just get that whole visual, that for whatever reason, Andrew and, Timmy can't do anything off the cuff. They have to read it all. And so he's got all of this taped up there. So when he's struggling, he's trying to read the next page. Yeah. Chaka just gets up there. She's like natural. She just shares and it flows. So when Belen finds out on the way home that Timmy actually was just
that's smart though.
But he's struggling to just read.
Well, yeah, the difference is I know how to read.
When you don't want to forget something, you write it down.
Absolutely.
So Belen was in the floorboard laughing, with her. laugh. And so, and of course, Timmy was, just like, I hate my sister-in-law.
I even sent a Snapchat picture of him up on our screens to his daughter, Sarah, and stuff. And she was
cousin
like,
Sarah.
Yeah, she said, I said, why are they on our screens? And Sarah said, I don't know. He lost a bet.
That's hilarious.
But it was great content.
It
so,
was.
And Chaka was a natural.
The work that the
Thank you,
Bridge
Chaka.
Builders for the Cross are doing specifically in Del Rio, Mexico, and then also in Cuba and other parts of the world, it's incredible how they give so much of their time
Absolutely.
and their resources for spreading the gospel.
And Sean and Jean Young, and again, this is what
I want you to say her name properly one time.
Janine, Sean, and Janine. Yes. And so
It's real challenging.
We love these people.
Janine. And so I'm like, Timmy, I can read well. Anyway. And so what they're doing is just a shout out to pray for them. And this is when you guys give and support Connect Church. And for those of you that are not a part of our ministry here, just know this is a reason why you want to come to Connect Church. It's not just about us. We're reaching into the community. You guys heard about last week with the 1,500, 2,000 folks that we shared the Easter egg hunt with here in the Veterans Park, but also we're out there. This couple that Tanner's talking about, that Timmy gave a report on, and he did it. The content was great, and so,
they sent a video,
and they sent and they did. But the work that they're doing is on the border. So that very crisis that we're, talking about with the border crisis, these guys are on the front lines, front and center, dealing with that every day. And Andrew is taking our teens down there to just help minister, to this in the midst when don't get me started on our government, but, when we screw everything up, it's the Christian community that steps into it and fills that void.
I wonder what it's like down there right now. When we were there back in May of 2019, it was the Border Patrol vans were coming on the hour, every hour, bringing illegal immigrants to this Christian center because the Christian center in the town was the only one that was going to help them.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And so I wonder if that's the same thing going on now.
I think they alluded to that when they were talking that on video that they're
because it did die down for a little while.
Right, but it's back, back in gangbusters now.
Right.
And so
a month or two ago when we talked to Sean Young, because we're actually taking a group of teenagers and adults down there, he was saying, we'll be working straight with the orphanage there in the Ciudad Acuña and stuff and everything, and we'll be ministering to these people. Well, the last time I talked to him, he said we're definitely going to have more to do with the Christian Center, the coalition, and helping with all these immigrants and working at the border control crisis, surge, whatever word you want to use for it and stuff. But there's a lot of people that need our help down there. So I'm just glad we get to go share the gospel and all that. And
as
give
the press secretary says, it's a challenge. It's not a crisis.
Right.
Well, whatever you want to call it, we're going to go minister to them.
And here's the thing for all those that are listening, wherever your political stance on this, just know this, is that Connect Church and people like the missionaries that we support, we are going there with the team, and these people are on the front lines no matter what your political view of this is. We are there helping take care of these immigrants, ministering to them, because so many of them are innocent in all of this stuff. And so we're going to be there to share the gospel and to help with the physical
and
needs.
using teenagers to be the hands and feet of Jesus to do this.
Amen. That's awesome.
One of some of the coolest pictures I had from our trip in 2019 was once they got their bag of stuff that had toiletries, some snacks, some food, just to kind of get them through the next day even. There was a copy of the Bible put in there, and to see the immigrants waiting on their bus ticket to come through,
nothing
to get on the bus, they're just sitting there reading the Word.
Yes,
yeah,
and that's all they have.
Exactly.
I mean, what we gave them was literally, and the clothes on
Very
their back
cool.
was what.
So,
they
do
have.
you have any room on that? I really want to go on this trip. Do you got any room on that trip?
I mean, technically, they can still house more down at what is it, Granny B's?
Granny B's,
Granny
yes,
B's house.
yeah, she's
We
amazing.
technically can, but
Right.
do you really want to spend another week with me, Tanner?
I mean, I would to serve
To
the Lord.
suffer for
Yes,
Christ?
yes, I would.
And we
There
could,
will be tacos.
I'll trade you Kevin Tudor on the Japan trip for a spot on the Del Rio trip.
No,
How about
Kevin might be coming with us too on Del Rio.
Hey, and by the way, two things on that, Tanner. One is tell the audience about Granny B and what she does and how old she is.
Yeah, I can't remember exactly how old she is, but I know she's in her 80s.
Mid-80s.
Yeah, she's from Texas, more from inland Texas, and she felt the call of the Lord on her life to move to a border town where they were having lots of mission trips and stuff. Bought a house And then in her yard, and I'm not talking about out in the middle of nowhere.
This is like after her husband died.
Yeah,
or something.
after her husband died.
Yeah.
She bought a house. There
Didn't give
Del
up on
Rio.
life. She kept on living.
Exactly. She wanted to continue to serve.
Amen.
And so she bought a house in a neighborhood. It's not like it's out in the middle of nowhere. And in her, I don't even, maybe a half acre, less than a half acre of lot there on her house, she's built little cabins to host mission teams that are coming to work.
3 dormitories that hold about 30 people. It's amazing, unbelievable.
And also, not only that, but she gives up the spare bedrooms in her home me and Ashley stayed in the house. We didn't stay out in the dormitory when we went, in the cabins. So
I'm not sure the air conditioning needs, though. Kevin Tudor and I ran air conditioning to one of those, and so hopefully
it was the first time I ever saw you work a circular saw.
It was dangerous.
It was dangerous,
and I have the fingers to show for it.
Yes.
So, and my second thing about the trip down to Del Rio that you can piggyback with Andrew and the team why don't you fly in American Airlines to Del Rio?
Well, you know what the sad thing is, you have to fly American to Del Rio, and also Japan Airlines is partnered with American Airlines. We have to fly American Airlines to Tokyo.
Nice. If Tanner and I tell you the story about our trip to Del Rio on American Airlines,
there's going to be a lot of censorship.
That would be a lot that we're going to have to bleep out.
You have a bleep button, Tanner.
Yeah. Wow, we're already 16 minutes into this thing. But I did want to you guys, and
it was missions weekend, so we're covering.
Yeah, tell me one of your favorite mission trip experiences. It could be funny, spiritual, good, bad. It's just something that pops in your head. Tell us one of your favorite mission trip stories from trips in the past.
Oh man! So one of the only international trips I've had the privilege of going on was to Cuba, and I'm gonna say it this way, and it's not offensive because it's the Cuban guy that was saying it. But I know we can edit this out if I have to. But
Tanner, get your finger on the button.
What a motto!
I have a bleep button.
Amado Gonzalez, the pastor down there, he's just a goofball, but he loves Jesus. Terry's like a celebrity down there because they have 6-hour-long church services, and so you can preach as long as you want. Tanner, they sing for hours and hours, and I mean they know how
it's my dream come true.
Yeah. It really, I mean, I'm not the 6-hour-long service kind of guy, but when you're with them and you just see that. The spirit of worship, everything amongst them when they have so little and have so much more joy, it seems like, and just everything than we do.
They do a novel idea there that we need to try in the American church. They love Jesus.
Yeah, wow. I mean, novel concept there. But one of the things there are 2 things he said that was hilarious is we went to see just kind of basically when I don't know if it was a war like zone or whatever where they had these giant cannons, like a battlefield type thing in Havana.
At the harbor.
At the harbor, yeah.
Yes.
Well, you had to pay to get in there. And I was actually at the time with the Bible college, and we didn't have any pesos or anything like that, any form of currency that we could use. I just had American dollars. And so apparently Amato didn't either. So he decided as the pastor, we went to the beach the day before, and he said, don't speak. No hablo inglés. No, don't speak any English. He made me in line just take my shirt off. So I'm just standing there shirtless.
You can't do that as a Bible college student.
I know.
No wonder they kicked you out.
It's okay, Tanner. I kept my tie on.
That's good.
I literally I had on an Under Armour t-shirt. I take my Under Armour shirt off, switch with a guy that's just standing there in line. He's like, you tan enough, you brown enough, and everything. So we went to the beach before. Nice. He smuggled me in there technically, like to go see all this stuff. And he just told me, don't speak. And then the day before when we were at the beach, it was in,
well, you are 25% Mexican. So.
That's true. Not Cuban, but so I got tan enough. But anyways, we were there in March.
I'm tanner than you are.
Oh my gosh!
Please edit that out. Oh gosh. Anyways,
you realize that Tanner's turning into Terry from Sunday, so
I want to finish my story.
Talking about Twinkies and ho-hos. I should have pulled that audio.
That was so bad.
Oh, I knew what I was doing.
That's my best of the week.
We're having too much fun.
Anyways,
today,
Cuba. Andrew's naked on the beach.
I was not naked. Anyways, I get in the water and stuff, and the beach in Matanzas is supposed to be directly 90 miles to Miami, Florida. So it's technically the closest, or to Key West, whichever one it is. But anyways, the closest place you can get to from Cuba to America. And so I get in the water and stuff like that. We're at the beach having a good time, and I'm like out in the water. It's crystal clear, so you can see everything. I'm just out swimming, and Amato in English and Spanish starts screaming at me from the shore, and he says, "Swim, swim, white American, swim!" He says, "Go to your country, be free."
Now,
and is screaming at me to swim, and he's like, "Don't do it! You have so much to live for. Go Key West."
oh gosh.
That is good.
And I'm like, "Amato, shut up!"
Now, I've been there, and when I went it was like 2004, 2005, and there were literally armed guards on the beach. Did they have those there when you were there?
At Matanzas, we actually didn't. Everywhere else, we went around Havana and all that
Had the
kind of
armed
stuff. We
guards.
did. And one of the other times when we were driving through Havana, by the way, everything there, every automobile and stuff was like from the 50s because it's like time stopped in 1959 with communism and everything that came in through there.
That whole embargo thing.
Yeah, all of it. But when Amato's car at the time when we went there a couple years ago, it was like a Flintstones car. So you could literally see the ground underneath your feet, and you had to prop your feet on the back of his seats, or else your feet would have got drug off and road rash burned. And so we hit such a massive manhole pothole that we watched the muffler fall out of the bottom of his car, like right underneath our feet. And he stops. Somehow the car was still running without a muffler and everything else. He gets out and he's literally trying to shove it in the trunk. He said, "Here, you hold the other end." So we're driving with the muffler sticking out the back. I love Amato and Cuba. If we ever get the chance to go back there, I think
great.
we're going next year.
That's
Next
the
year
plan.
back to
That's
Cuba.
the plan.
I definitely want to go. So those are my funny stories with Cuba.
I've got like 20, but I'll just give you the quickest one. I'll pick one, the quickest one. And so several years ago, mid 2000s, we were going to France with a pastoral team from here in Mississippi, and we were helping out with a Muslim ministry there in southern France. And so we go and we finished up the work there. There's some really funny stories about that, but I'll save them for another time. So we made our way back from Marseille, Aix-Provence, and we're back into Paris on the last day doing a little bit of sightseeing tour with these other Mississippi pastors, good friends of mine. And one of them is a massive Alabama fan, so he's got his Alabama hat on, and we go up to Notre Dame, which is the church there in Paris, and so it's
Home of the Fighting Irish.
The Fighting Irish.
No. Absolutely, they don't even know who they are. And so the Notre Dame Cathedral,
It burned. Didn't it burn?
No, that was another one, but yeah.
I thought
it may have. I don't know. Anyway, and so, but we were
very special to him.
I guess it was actually, and so we were there, and so this ancient cathedral that is historic and has all of this has nothing to do with Notre Dame in the U.S. or whatever. And one of my pastor friends, Alabama, takes his hat out in front of multiple cultures. Everybody's gathered there, thousands of people, and he takes his Alabama hat off and yells at the church, "Roll Tide!" And then we just walked away.
Yeah.
And that was the last time we went with that pastor.
Yes.
I won't tell. Most of y'all have heard the story of me getting kicked off a mission trip.
Yes, that's a classic.
I'll save that one for another time. But when I think of a mission trip, one of my favorite memories is also in Cuba from that trip in 2004. I was with Jared Pilgrim and a guy named Bob Edwards and Rodney Bowen and Jared's wife Tyra. We were down there singing and doing a little bit of preaching and everything or whatever with Gary. And
you did Southern gospel music in Cuba?
They loved it. You shut up.
Oh, my goodness.
You shut up. I wish I had some on my playlist here. Do I have
They don't
any?
have access
I don't
to
have
real
anything.
things in culture.
Anyway, so we're down there, and so we had driven in this hot. It was July.
Well, it's always
when we
hot.
went. Yeah, and it was July then.
Yeah,
so
that's really hot.
We'd driven in this van. I felt like we drove for an eternity to get out to this middle of nowhere into a church about the size of this choir room that was just brick walls.
People don't understand. You go 40 miles, 3 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
We were out in the middle of nowhere. The church had no electricity, no lights, just holes in the wall for windows to sing. And there was probably, there had to have been 300-something people there. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So they had this outhouse in the backyard of the church, in the back of the church. And Jared, my buddy Jared, had gone to use the bathroom. And the door was about probably 5 feet, maybe a little less than 5 feet tall. So he's bigger now. He's 6 foot. He had ducked to get in or whatever. So
everything's smaller in Cuba.
Exactly. He comes out. He comes out and he's like, "I'm not trying to be disgusting, but it's just human nature. You're using the bathroom. You look down in the hole. So I'm like, he's like, you've got to go look in that hole."
I don't like where this is going.
And so I'm like, okay, well, I mean,
we'll be back next week for week 15.
Cut to Daniel. Cut to Daniel.
I'm like 21 years old, so I'm just an idiot kid. I'm like, all right, let's go look in the hole, you know? So I go into the bathroom, I look in the hole, and the hole is moving. Like all of the nastiness and the bugs and just the junk is just it's sickening. Like it's so gross. And it kind of scared me a little bit. I back up and I hit my head on that door frame. And Jared was like, "Don't fall in the hole." You know, you back up and you hit your head and you go down. You know, that's one of
You
my.
didn't fall in, did you?
No,
okay.
No. But he thought like when I was backing up that I was going to trip and fall. But
That was really a crappy story.
Yeah. Wait. Oh wait, there it is.
Oh,
Can we tell one last one? Is that
Sure, we got time for one more.
When I don't know if this hits the racial protocol here, but when
Oh, gosh.
when we were me and you and a team from Connect Church was on Cuba, a hurricane hits the island.
Oh, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun. So no power, and that's where you want to be, is on an island with no power in
the
Cuba.
Caribbean.
In the
who
Caribbean.
doesn't have clean drinking water?
Right. So
Like,
all those things, and we're just like literally. You know, they told us Tanner's dream come true is that no electricity, so all the food's going to go bad. So Tanner just
and
ate.
they knew that it wasn't going to get fixed for days.
True.
They
And
knew.
that was going to be because of hurricane. So
Right.
they said we got to eat everything, and Tanner was like, "Yes." And so anyway, so we're just up.
The Lord provides.
The Lord provides. So Tanner, I don't want anything to go to waste. You know, being a good steward.
I was there to be a blessing.
You better be a blessing. And so they invested highly in us. And so we're just staying up all night drinking Cuban coffee, which is the only coffee in the world I'll drink. And anyway, fantastic. And telling stories. And, you know, it's getting late at night. And so I'm telling stories about your mom, and, you know, how she used to sleepwalk and she would have her night terrors and run outside with you babies in the cold weather.
First time I've ever hearing of any of this.
And you know, and this,
oh my gosh, we hit another podcast.
yeah. And so, you know, and it was always Adam, you know, where's Adam? Where's
Yeah,
Adam? Never about you and
Forget
Aaron.
me and Aaron
Yeah.
completely. It was
Where's
on
Adam? So she would
Adam.
run down the hallways at
you don't
night,
matter.
and so all that.
You know what? I think I'll mute you. You don't matter.
And so I finished, you know, telling, you know, just half of the stories. And so at this point, Tanner just leans back in his chair and he says,
It's like, why are you with her? Like, I said, I would have divorced her immediatly.
and then you called her.
Is this your
Oh, yeah, I
affectionate
call-
nickname came about?
I called her. She's a crazy Mexican bat, just flying off the handle in the middle of the night.
all the Cubans literally fell out laughing because
And she did too. She wasn't offended.
No, she don't get offended. So all the Cubans were dying laughing that he called his pastor's wife a
Crazy Mexican bat. But by the stories y'all were telling, like,
It's
it's
legit.
a wonder you're alive.
If the
I
boot
agree.
fits.
And she threw a fan in on top of me one time while it was running. So yeah.
Some of them we can't even
Hopping
share
in.
on the podcast.
I would say hopping in bed with missionaries.
Oh, that's
Yeah. Just move on. So yeah.
It's missions week, so
It's true.
All right, cut the break.
All right, yeah, let's cut the break. That was a good segment, you guys. Good job. Great segment here on the podcast. Oh, but anyways, all right, well, we're going to take a quick break, catch our breath, and we will come back here on the Connect Church podcast. Don't go anywhere. Keep it playing. Let's go.
Have you been looking for a place to call home? Need a place that makes you feel welcome and valued while at the same time growing spiritually in Christ and biblical truths? At Connect Church, our mission is all about loving God, loving people, and making disciples. When we gather together, there's a spirit of worship, a spirit of kindness, and a spirit of welcoming to anyone and everyone who's seeking God's will and truth in their lives. We invite you to visit during one of our 2 Sunday services to discover how Connect Church can help you grow in your relationship with Jesus Christ. Our friendly and spirit-filled worship environment is just the place for you. Visit Connect Church this Sunday during our 9 o'clock or 10:30 a.m. services, located at 1650 North Veterans Boulevard in Tupelo, Mississippi. Or you can check out our live stream on our Facebook page or our website at www.triconnect.church. Again, that's www.triconnect.church. We look forward to connecting with you.
And we're back on the Connect Church podcast. I hope you enjoyed that last segment about missions and missionaries. But on a more serious note, it is great that our church, I love being a part of a church that takes missions seriously. Not only do we pour into it with our prayers and our thoughts, but we do pour in financially, as we gave a substantial check to the International Mission Board.
$6,000.
$6,000. Wow, that's incredible. Wow. Bravo, Connect Church. Anyways, it's a great avenue of spreading the gospel, the mission work at Connect Church. All right, so Andrew, you've got something exciting debuting this Sunday here at the church.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
Yes, we are going unbiblical, and hopefully Jesus won't overturn our tables. But let's go, girls.
I felt like that just needed to go right there. Sorry.
Feeling all.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's good anytime.
We're gonna have a Connect Church store. We're gonna be just selling some books, some T-shirts, some coffee cups, some tote bags, all kinds of different things, all there at the store. You guys can check that out. Come here before the 9 o'clock service or 10:30 before after the services. There will be somebody.
What time are those services again?
9 o'clock and 10:30. I'm not at 8:30, like some people,
I'm just
for whatever reason, randomly assumed. But it is at 9 o'clock and 10:30, and we will we'll have somebody out there to be able to help you guys. All the proceeds from this are going to be going towards our youth mission trip. If you've been listening on the podcast, we are going down to Del Rio, Texas, to work at the border. We're taking a group of teenagers and a few adults down there, and one of the things that we wanted to do was to be able to take just basically a bunch of a check or some cash or whatever to go buy some of these supplies to hand it out there down at the Border Control Center and stuff where they work at the coalition and stuff. So all the proceeds from this is going to go towards sponsoring the toothbrushes, blankets, whatever we're taking into there, Bibles, all that stuff that we're going to be able to do down there. So please come support this. We'll have different things. Even sometimes it'll be rotating things. So if it's not there, you may have missed your chance. So don't wait. Go ahead and check out all the merchandise stuff we have and support our Youth Missions Fund.
And you can pay with cash, a check, or a credit card.
Or Easy Tithe.
Or
all of it. You can even do
okay.
online. We just have to get confirmation right there. But
yeah, it's valid.
Yeah.
Show me that it went through. Yeah. Hey, if you break that, that's $85 there, Budro. So don't break that. Yeah. All right. Terry's playing with my toys over here.
Also, I forgot to do when we gave that check to Clint Morgan and the missions service this past Sunday, is that I got to give a shout out to my daughter-in-law. Actually counts the money at I Am Missions, Caroline, and she was terrified that her boss came down this weekend and that with being around the Pierces that she could still get fired, but she still has a job this week.
Well, that's good. I need to actually call her because we support a missionary personally, financially, and they went to the missions went to a new system.
Yeah. She was telling me about that.
So evidently they're not getting my money.
Right.
So I need to call her and figure out.
Yeah, they had to go to their app, like our Easy Tithe app, didn't work out for them, and so they had to switch. And so yes, you do need to switch that over.
Call that over.
Call Caroline Pierce.
Call Caroline Pierce, area code 615-555-4972. Call her up. All right. Anyways, that's not her number, by the way. So all right, you talked about the store. Oh, so we wrapped up our bracket challenge this
yes.
It was awesome. We had over 2,500 clicks.
No way.
For the final four.
Take that, Chuck.
Andrew, tell us how you did this, because Skylar and Chuck, my two buddies, my main men over there in the media team, they were dead set on getting psyched to the final round, and they did not come through. And I couldn't believe it when I looked at it and saw the final. I thought there's no way Psych wasn't going to win.
It's like we've been saying all along. You can't argue with facts. So Skylar actually sent a message that he shared the Connect Church post to a Psych fan page. It's a Facebook fan page.
And I appreciate him doing that.
I think they're called Psychos, which I fully believe. But also from some of the comments we were receiving. But they shared it to that fan page. Well, I was like, all right. They're going to play a little dirty here with this. They're going to take it.
It's not dirty.
Oh, it is. It was.
It's not dirty.
And everything else. So I decided I'm going to find some Friends fan pages. And I'm taking Psych down. And lo and behold, the facts speak for itself. Who won, Tanner?
Friends.
Did they really?
Friends. Yes, Friends won. And they ended up winning the entire thing the next round. The championship round was
They
Friends.
won it all?
Friends was over King of Queens, and Friends, I quit looking at it because it was like 91% Friends.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so-
Oh no, that's
I'll
No,
be
I agree with
there
that.
for you.
Yeah, I like Friends a whole lot.
When the rain starts to pour.
All right, hush. Anyways, so okay, I didn't know that you had sent it to other fan pages. I didn't know that. That's cool.
Don't mess with me, Chuck.
We know what department they're not going to donate to anymore.
Hey, his wife and his daughter's going on the youth mission trip, so he still has to support it.
No, it's good. It was a lot of fun. But you know what? Hey, who knows? Someone in those groups may be listening to the podcast this
That's
week.
true.
Right,
That's
yeah.
true.
That's
valid.
the whole purpose of.
We had some new.
That's exactly what we started this podcast for, was
Absolutely.
to share it and get the word out. So maybe someone will hear it, hear some gospel truth, and be intrigued by it.
Yeah.
We had
So
some new
see-
page likes and stuff like that, new
We did. We
comments
had a
from
lot
people
of-
and
we
stuff
did.
like that. So
We
if you're
did.
listening and you're a psycho or you're a Friends fan or whatever,
Go to our
welcome.
sermon podcast. Check it out. So.
Yeah, welcome, but just no Friends is better.
Yeah. All right, cool. Well, that will lead us into the best and the worst of the weekend. Hang on. There it goes.
Whoa. Which was it?
I'm starting that again.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Whoa. Which was it?
This is the worst.
Yeah. All right, guys. Give us your best and the worst of the weekend. I'll start, okay, since I've been going around the table. I'll start.
Is this Arkansas?
No, this has nothing to do with Arkansas
good,
this time.
good.
All right.
Oh, wow. Praise the Lord.
My best of the week was Tuesday. Went and played some golf for the first time this calendar year. For the first time, since we played at what's that place called where we hit the ball?
Top Golf.
Top Golf.
Yeah, or we hit the ball. Top Golf. That's the last time I had played golf. So, anyways, it was a lot of fun being outside in the wonderful
Beautiful
weather.
day.
Beautiful day. I didn't get totally sunburned, and I hit the ball well. I stayed under 100.
Nice.
That's good for me. That's my goal. So, my best was just being outside and playing some golf and just enjoying golf because I like golf. But golf's a funny game.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's expensive. And yet we still play it. But anyways, all right. That's my best, was playing golf. I really enjoy playing golf.
I'll go. I have my
All right.
best and the worst together because it was in the same 12 minutes. So my best was we had a bunch of people from Connect Church do our first in-person 5K since COVID and everything too. So when we got to go and do it, there was a big group from the church that came out there to support it, and I actually had a new record on my fastest 5K time ever, finished in 22 minutes and 23 seconds, but I had a double worst at the same time. Hector Hernandez still beat me.
Smoked you.
Keena said that.
He's Mexican.
Keena, his wife even said, "Look, he's half your age. Don't try and keep up with Andrew and everything else." And ironically, Ashlyn had the same conversation with me. Hector is twice your age, but don't try and keep up with it because she knew I wasn't going to be able to do it. And my other part of my worst was not for me; it was for the poor 12-year-old that was right behind me. I thought I was by myself really close to the end, and my nose was running constantly while I was running.
Ooh.
And so if this grosses you out, Tanner's already talked about poop. So I blew a snot rocket because I could not breathe and I had to be able to breathe through
You
my
blew
nose.
COVID over everyone.
I straight up had to have knocked that 12-year-old in the face. with a snot rocket.
Nice.
Gross.
And I'm like, that's what you get for following me so close.
Did you have your Connect Church shirt on?
I plead the fifth.
That's terrible.
Austin's waiting over here in the wings watching us do our podcast. He's like, be sure and tell everyone that you lost at golf. Yeah. Sorry, I don't hit the ball 300 yards like you do, Austin. I'm not as cool as you, okay?
I asked him last night at church. I said, "So what did you shoot?" And he goes, "Just typical 88."
Oh, him? Yeah.
Yeah.
88 you only shot at 88? That's terrible for you.
He has lots of time to practice.
Yeah, that's valid.
Lots of free time.
Some of us weren't born with the good looks, athletic ability, and charm like he got. So sorry, I can't shoot an
Wait,
88,
which Austin
sorry.
are we talking about?
All right, Terry, what's your best of the weekend?
I can totally relate to Terry. And so anyway,
Terry.
Bye, Terry.
my best is coming up this weekend with the donut run. So I'm going to be for the Alabama Children's Home. Anybody would like to sponsor me? You can send in money in now. Yeah, but they're going to have a donut run that you run a 5K, and at the end you get to eat all the donuts you want. So I got several $100s that people have donated, and I'm taking with me.
Are they going to be Krispy Kreme donuts? Are they going to be like mom and pop shop donuts, or what do you think?
I'm assuming Krispy Kreme. No, I'm not going
No,
if it's
no.
not. But
You better verify.
that's a good question.
better
I
find
hadn't even
out
thought
who's-
about that. Yeah.
I mean, it could be like some Joe Schmo donut shop in town, which may be really good, but
you just ruined my best, Tanner.
Is there
sorry.
a Krispy Kreme in Jasper?
Well, Chris Mitchell and his wife headed up, and he's a huge Krispy
Oh,
Kreme
okay.
fan, so I'm assuming.
Maybe he
Okay,
went down.
alright.
Maybe he went over to Florence or Columbus
Well,
first. Or
in
something.
Columbus. And there, yeah, so yeah.
All right. My worst of the weekend is it's a little, I don't want to say it's political, but it's just societal, if that's a thing. So my worst is like we were out to eat for lunch on Sunday and had to wait 8 years because, and this is the thing going around, no local business can operate at 100% because they don't have the staff to do it because nobody wants to work, and it is angering me.
Yeah,
That's my
They
worst
got
of
their
the weekend.
stimulus checks, but man, here in about 3 months, when they've blown through all that money, there's going to be a surge of tons of people trying to go back to work, and they're not going to be able to find a
Man,
job.
if I could make my stimulus check last 3 months, that'd be nice. Mine
well,
went straight to
it might be
debt.
shorter than
Or
that.
you just go to unemployment. And
Yeah,
so
exactly. So
speaking of Ron Swanson, the government,
Yeah.
so all of those things. So in that vein of thought, my worst is government related as well, is that I sent in my application to get my renewal for my concealed carry. And so
follow up.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got to follow. Hang on, I got a follow up button. Hang on. There it is. Screw it.
So I get in Ron Swanson total fashion of inept government is I get a letter back this week and says they sent the check back and everything, and they said even though I sent it in registered by mail that it received there a week before that my renewal came up, is they said by the time we filed it you were a week late, so you have to pay an additional $15
heck no.
or we're not going to renew your permit. And they sent all the application back with the check because it was there a week before, but because they didn't process it till the week after the deadline. And so you should have heard my conversation. So
gosh.
anyway, yeah.
You know I
Gotta
don't handle
love it.
stupidity. I do not handle
You
stupidity.
can't make it up, dude. You can't make it up.
That's dumb. That's dumb. Andrew, what's your worst of the week?
Oh, well, where I lost to Hector and Blue Snot Rockets.
Oh, that was your worst?
yeah,
Okay.
that was pretty much my worst. I can talk about my dishwasher if you'd like.
No. Is it working good?
It works just fine.
You can never run with Hector
Let's-
because remember Taco Bell's thing, run for the border. So anyway,
Let's
Not what
retire.
it said.
Let's retire the word dishwasher from our
amen.
podcast.
Thank you.
I said it
Yes.
twice.
You said it's working. It works great now. Now, if we hear the word dishwasher again, you're officially muted
Yes.
for the rest of the
Yes.
podcast.
I'm with you. Amen.
All right. All hearts and minds clear.
Oh, this Sunday.
Okay, yeah.
This Sunday we're coming back with a sermon in Love Reigns in Over Your Past, and we're going to be sharing with the congregation, and I'm so excited. Bobby Nanny is going to be front and center. You got to tune in to listen
Bobby
to this.
Nanny?
Well, one of his phrases, Bobby's words of wisdom
Yes.
that he's
Okay.
shared, and so we're going to be talking to, and honestly, the whole story of what his witnessing to a guy, I'm going to share from a theological position about turn and burn. So it's going
If,
to be
if
good.
you thought
So, yeah.
Ricky Bobby had some good one-liners, you ain't heard nothing from
Bobby Nanny, dude. This is it.
It's funny you bring up Bobby, and I love Bobby. He's a dear friend, and I'm so thankful for him. Ashley and I were watching Parks and Rec the other day, and something about Officer Dave.
Yes, a little bit.
Yes.
I turned
A
to Ashley
little
and said,
bit.
"Man, that reminds me of Bobby."
A little bit,
Yes, 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 yeah.
All right. Anyways, I love Officer Dave. I love Bobby too.
This Sunday.
All right, we will see you guys this Sunday here at Connect Church, 9 o'clock, 10:30, and we'll see you Sunday. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.
Peace.